On this episode, we're working on the planter, getting it ready for planting corn for the very first time. It doesn't go so well.
What was that? Where did that come from? Oh man, did it pinch the line somewhere? Shoot. All right, today, here's what we got going on. We have to work on the planter because planting season is coming very soon and it is not ready. So what I want to work on today is figure out the hydraulic plumbing. There's all these plumbing lines for the hydraulic fluid that do things on the planter, and there's more functions on the planter than I have remotes or hydraulic ports on the tractor. I only have basically two remotes on the back of my tractor. Let me show you. Basically, I have an in and an out here, and I have an in and an out here. So I only have two. So basically I can do two different functions. I could raise and lower the planter, and I could run the vacuum. I could raise and lower the side markers, or I could run the auger. So I can only do two different things with these two different remotes on the back of my tractor. But my planter needs at least four, or has at least four different functions. So it has the up and down where I raise and lower the planter when I'm ready to actually go into the dirt and plant. It has the side markers, these things right here. Hopefully you can kind of see them. Basically those put a line in the ground where I need to line up the next time so that my rows are evenly spaced. Then I have the vacuum system, which is the thing that actually sucks the seeds up out of the seed boxes and then dumps them basically into the planter so they can go into the ground. And then I've got a fertilizer auger. Basically it's the thing on the top of the planter here, this black bar that goes across, and I fill fertilizer in that box at the end, and then the auger runs it along here and dumps it into the fertilizer boxes. So that function doesn't need to be running while I'm planting. The only things that need to be running while I'm planting are the vacuum, the up, down, and the side markers. Again, that's three things. I only have two ports. So what I'm hoping to be able to do is replumb the side markers with the up and down. So basically every time I lift the planter and then drop it back down, the side markers will go down. Then every time I lift the planter back up when I'm done with that row, the side markers will come up. When I lower it back down, they'll go back down. Or at least one of them would. It basically alternates one side and then the other depending on which direction I'm going. So those are my two functions that I'll be using while I'm planting if I can plumb those two together. I'm basically going to take three, plumb two of them together, so now I only have two remotes that I need. Then when I stop to refill the fertilizer through that fertilizer auger thing I talked to you about, I can unplug the up and down, plug in the fertilizer auger, and then run that at the same time. Now, I know that I've heard, a couple of people have told me about what's it called? Like a diverter or something, where basically I can take one of my remotes, plug in like, I wish I knew the name, but you plug in this Y basically where the one becomes two. Essentially, then I would have three remotes. So I'm basically taking one and then kind of making a V, and it goes out to two. And then that way in the tractor, I just flip a switch and I can basically take one of my remotes on the back of my tractor and turn it into two ports, two remotes. I'm still learning the lingo of what it's all called. I know that that's a possibility. I've just heard that those struggle to work well. Those don't always perform very well. So that's my plan, and I have no idea how I'm going to do that. So we got to dig into it. So I've got the operating manual. I'm hoping that I can find a diagram of all these lines to figure out what goes to what. So let's see what we got. We have service adjustments, hydraulic connections. Let's see what that page says. Yeah, it says markers can be operated independent of the machine lift system. Well, that's not what I want. Okay, so that just tells me how it's done, but it doesn't tell me how to change it. That's not helpful then. Nope, I don't think it's in here. Instead, I'm going to have to somehow just figure out what lines are what. I feel like that's step one. If we go over here, these are the lines that are coming off the markers, and they go up into the main kind of frame of the planter. And they're marked with, I don't know, they have like blue mega cis. Let's see if we can see that coming in over here anywhere. Right here. And it's these smaller size lines. So this has to be it. I see. So this, it looks like, is the left marker. don't know if you can see that coming in right here, and there's an in and an out. I guess the next step would be to just mark the lines up here so that I don't have to keep looking back to figure out what they are. So let's just start with the easy one right here. If we follow this back, so it says frame pressure. So that's up and down on the pressure side. Okay, so this is frame pressure. Okay, we got one. Now let's follow the other one back from that line, which is going to be this one. Which one did I say that was now?
After getting clear on what was what, I went ahead and marked all the lines to make sure when I put it back together, it all went together correctly.
So we have frame return, we have frame pressure, we have auger return, and we have auger pressure. So starting to figure out where all the lines go. So basically the frame pressure comes in. There's like a, I don't know what you call it, but a valve here. If you have it pushed this way, I think that will control then the auger pressure. And so it kind of runs through this loop, goes through like a restricting valve. You can set the pressure there, and then it goes into the auger. So you can set the speed of the auger, I believe. And then if we have it pushed the other way, this little valve pulled, that's going to run the up and down. So then the pressure for the frame, the up and down, is going to come in here and just continue that line all the way into the frame. So you're either running the auger or the frame. So what I need to do is get the frame to run with the lines down here, which are the markers, instead of the switch valve. Boy, that seems confusing to me, but so how do we do this? I really don't know. I think I got to do my research more. So let's mark some more pieces.
So after marking every single line, even the small ones, we were able to get a clear idea of where the liquid flowed and how we needed to change the lines in order to get the side markers to go with the up and down.
I don't want to screw this up. Let's undo it here. Hopefully it doesn't make a huge mess. Nope, no mess at all. That's great. Now I got to go underneath and please don't make a huge mess. Oh, it's a little bit of a mess. Boy, I hope this is the right thing to do. Oh, it's hard to get it on there. Okay. If this works, I'm going to be frankly amazed at myself. Okay, so they're both on hand tight, so now let's tighten them down. There we go. Okay, so now the last thing is to put this cap that was down there on this. And that literally should be it, in theory. And I did not think it was going to be quite that easy, so I'm skeptical of what I just did. And so it's these two now where it says mark pressure and mark return. Those should both be feeding the up down. Gosh, did I do that right? Now why am I questioning everything I just did? No, that's correct. Yeah, because now I have my up down tied into that. All we can do is try it. And now I don't remember which side is which. Maybe it doesn't even matter. What I'm going to do is start the tractor, try the auxiliary hydraulics, and see if when I go up and down, if it raises and lowers the side markers at the same time. Before we do that though, we have to do a couple things to the planter. I've actually never used these markers because last year I didn't use them, and I know there's a lock. Okay, the lock's off. So normally there's a lock that's holding these in place. That is off, so that's good. We need to remove, which I have to lift it up first, but there's some pins and some blocks that are holding the height of the planter. I need to remove those, but first I have to lift the planter up, so we'll see if it even lifts. So I guess I'm gonna go start the tractor and see if I can lift the planter a little bit, remove those locking pins for the transport height, and then see if when I go up and down, if the markers move at all. So we'll see. So far, this is a good sign because the planter lifted and that marker went down. So now I got to take these pins out. That doesn't have one, that doesn't have one, but this one does. All right, let's try it again. And what should happen is I should lift and lower, and this side should go all the way down. Then when I lift again, it should go back up, and then the other side should do it when I do it again, so we'll see. All right, it's kind of working and it's kind of not. So it's working in function, meaning as it was going up and down, this one side marker went up and down, then the other one did. But the up and down is going extremely slow. So I'm trying to figure out why that would be. The only thing I think of is there's a setting on the back of the tractor that regulates the flow of fluid through the lines. Maybe I have it turned way too far down. I think these adjust that. I gotta take the pressure off this line. It's like stuck in there now. Whoa. Okay, we got pressure on that. Boy, I don't know. Let's try it again. What was that? Where did that come from? Oh man, did it pinch the line somewhere? Shoot. Oh man. That's disappointing. Thought we were getting so close. I was hoping I could just feel a hole in it. I do see something right there. Could that be it? No, because it's coming from deep in there. Yeah. Shoot! Oh, man, that stinks. And I don't understand why that would be happening. Like, what just happened? It obviously just blew a line somewhere, but why? Maybe I had the pressure too high now, or all of a sudden, or something. All right, so it's these lines right there. So if I take those off, so this is marker and frame pressure, marker and frame return. So this is the return side. Okay, now I gotta find the right size wrench for that. Wait a second, if I do this, I should pull a rope through with these lines, because if I pull these lines out, I'm not gonna be able to get them back in. I should somehow tie a rope to it. Hopefully they pull through there semi-easily. And I'm thankful that I thought of that before I did that, because that would have been a whole nother problem. Like that. And then if I just duct tape it a little bit. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully that'll hold. I'm hoping I see just a big cut on one of these lines, because then I can semi-easily go get some new lines. But do we see anything? Maybe we don't even need to pull it all the way out yet. Yep, there it is. Look. So I wonder if that's been there a while, and I haven't used these for a while, and the pressure just popped it through. That has to be it. Yeah, there's a big hole right there. So I'm gonna have to pull these all the way out, which is fine. And I'm gonna have to go get some new ones made. Uh-oh. We're hung up on something. Ah, shoot. What are we hung up on, I wonder? Can you feel it pulling? I don't know what it's stuck on. I wonder if a line got in between those two. And so it's actually, because I put them together, it's like holding the two from going through. Like maybe a line is in between. So I almost wonder if I have to do one line at a time and do 2 ropes or something. I mean, worst case, we're fishing line through for days. Okay, let's see if that'll work, and if we do one at a time, if they'll come out. Is that pulling the rope? Is that the one pulling the rope? Okay, that one came through. And the good news is maybe we don't have to replace both of these, right? Okay, now can you see if that one's stuck? Now the rope is keeping it from coming through here, I think. It's so slippery. Oh man, just come through, please. It's right there. I think my rope knots are just keeping it from coming through. All right, so I wonder if we got to pull it back through, fix the rope, and do it again. It's just one thing after another. It's just farming. As soon as you think you figure something out, something else creates a problem. Why do they make the hole so small that this barely fits through? I do not understand that strategy. The other option is I get a smaller wire. I do have some string. Maybe we should do that. All right, let's try it again. Got it. So now when we go back, I should be able to tie this around both ends and pull it back. Or worst case. All right, so there's the line. We got to get a new line and see if we can get this working. But all it was just a tiny little nick right in the line, and it just burst everywhere. That still doesn't completely fix it because it was still going up and down really slow. So I don't know what that was all about. And then it also was like tilted, like one side like something wasn't right with that.
So I jumped in the new farm truck and cruised up to the local implement to get a new line made for the planter.
We got to get this planter put back together now because rain is coming and then snow for the next 2 days and everything is sitting outside. So the problem is right now, the whole planter is sitting down on the ground because all the hydraulic fluid leaked out for the upper and lower, raising and lowering. And so it's just sitting down on the ground and I can't move it. So I got to get this hose replaced and see if that fixes the problem. I can get it lifted and back in the shop before the rain comes. All right, so what I'm doing is tying a string around the hose that I ran through before. And then I got to pull this hose back through this tiny slot right up in there and then string it all the way back through the frame and back out there. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to stick that in there to start. Go back over here and start pulling, seeing if it'll come through. We're stuck on something. Stuck on something. That's really frustrating. We finally got the lines through, reconnected, and now I got to see if we hooked them up right. And so we're going to test it. We got the tractor fired up. We'll see what it does. When I go down, one of the side markers should go down as well. Oh, yep, there goes one. So that's down. Now I'm going to lift back up. That side marker should come up. And now when I go down, the other side marker should go down. Yep, sweet. I can't believe it's actually working. Look at that. That's awesome. And look at it's right when the snow is starting to come down. So I wanted to get it done before it started raining and snowing. So we got to get picked up and get it put back in the shop. Now we're probably super low on hydraulic fluid. And I did just buy more, so. Yeah, look at that. It's below the minimum level. So we need to add some because I lost quite a bit yesterday when the hose exploded. And then just now, swapping out the hoses. Well, the good news with this weather is that I don't feel like we need to be out in the field doing work. If it was like super nice and warm and weeds were sprouting and all that, I'd feel even more behind. But was it weird to say that that was easier than I expected, but also harder than I expected? As far as the actual replumbing, rerouting of the hydraulic lines to do what I needed it to do, that was actually an easier change than I thought it was going to be. But then, of course, the hose burst. And when that happened, it just made everything more difficult, for sure.
Make sure to watch our next episode where we're going to figure out what pasture to convert first. We get a new piece of equipment that'll help us get the job done. Of course, as always, we bend stuff and we break stuff, and we have a lot of fun out in the field on the farm. Thanks for watching.